Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome along to the Royal Link Up podcast. We are on episode 26. We are halfway through an entire calendar year of Royal Link Up podcasts. What a milestone. We've reached halfway of a year. Unbelievable. I am your host, the Amazing Sniper Beef, or Beef the Legend, whichever you prefer. We've got a wealth of array of talent. How good that talent is on the podcast today, we will have to decide. But I'm joined by my co-host in yellow. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, Devastate here. Welcome back to another episode. Hope everyone is having a great week. And we've got a fantastic show for you today. But before we get into what's been covered, I'll let the other co-hosts introduce themselves.
Big welcome from me, Vedak here. Good to be back.
And a welcome from me, Masson Ivry.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Right, I'll give you a quick rundown of what we're going to talk through today. So, Vedak and I went to the League of Legends World Championship Finals at the O2 at the weekend. We'll spend a fair amount of time, talking about that, and some sort of topics on the peripheral of that subject as well. We'll talk about the PS5 Pro and what's going on with the disk drive on that. Elon Musk, a little bit of an announcement on what he does on Diablo IV. AMD's new announcement on the new Ryzen 7 9800X 3D pricing, etc. New Planet Coaster 2 as well. And then finally, we'll touch on the rumors of the Xbox handheld gaming device as well. So we have a jam-packed agenda today. But top of the hour, League of Legends World Finals, unbelievable. Me and Vedak went on Saturday live at the O2. If you haven't checked out the video, which is on our YouTube, go check that out, which Devastate has fantastically cut together. But also go and check out, I vlogged the whole day through a whole series of videos on our TikTok as well. Link in the bio below. There's some fantastic content there. But yeah, Vedak, give me a quick rundown. What do you think of it?
It's one of those experiences I think you'll never forget. The atmosphere was incredible. I mean, we were saying when we first got in, it doesn't, there was a lot of empty seats, but that changed. I don't think there was a seat free in the house. It was absolutely packed, and the atmosphere was just incredible.
Yeah, because obviously I tried to get tickets, a couple of tickets prior to us winning the 2 tickets that we actually got in the end, and unfortunately we got done by bots and scalpers, as it would be. So I didn't get any tickets. They went on sale immediately on StubHub, Viagogo, etc., and they were going for sort of $6,500. And I was like, well, I'm not paying that. So I was saying to Vedak when we were there, I was like, there's the potential that there's not going to be that many people here, because unless these people are the scalpers or the bots, or they're that clever that they're doing it themselves, how are people affording to come to this? Because if they're paying the scalper prices, it was honestly absurd. But when we got there was so many people in the Timo hats, wasn't there, Vedak? Absolutely loads of them. And we queued up at the merchandise store to go and get. I wanted a hoodie. Vedak wanted a Timo hat and maybe a pin as well. We got there and they were like, yeah, we're sold out of every size of every garment, which isn't small or medium. And obviously, as a gaming audience, most people there are men who none of them are really going to be small or medium. So I was like, I want an XL. Yeah, no, we haven't got any. I was like, you're nothing. No t-shirts, no hoodies, literally nothing, and no Timo hats either. And we were like, we queued for what? It was about 35 minutes. It wasn't like massively long.
I think it's a bit longer than that, but yeah, it wasn't crazy.
Yeah,
and it was quite entertaining because there was stuff going on.
Yes, yeah. Loads of people in cosplay, wasn't there? Loads of cosplay.
And then these people in the queue just ran off going, oh my god, and then ran up to some random bloke, started taking their photo with him, and we were obviously had no idea who he was. And then they came back going, oh, it was a Sloppy Walrus.
Sloppy Walrus, yeah. So we'll make sure we tag Sloppy Walrus in the comments below. But it was very good to see him. He's a big League of Legends streamer who plays Gragas. He's very, very good at Gragas as well. That was very good to see him. But yeah, we won 2 tickets. We were in the Qatar 93rd suite, which was honestly stunning. And I unlocked a new level of expensive in there. I bought me and Vedak a pint. 2 pints was £18.50, £9.25 a pint. It's the most expensive pint I've ever bought in my life.
How much was a beer when you went to Cheltenham? Because I think that's on a
$7.50.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I mean, that's still expensive, but like £9.25 for a pint, and it wasn't like they were just regular pints. But it was, you're obviously paying for a very premium experience there. So me and Vedak actually looked up whilst we were there, how much is it to get a seat in the 93rd Qatar Suites for the entire year, and it's £15,000. So if you're spending £15,000 for essentially like a seat in this set of this suite, essentially, £9.25 is going to be chump change to you, isn't it?
Yeah. And the suite was fantastic because you were in there and it had a little restaurant, it had beautiful seating all over the place, big old bar, loads of staff to serve, and then you lit a curtain across the front of the suite, and the curtain opened to reveal the
Arena.
the chairs in the arena, and they were directly opposite the stage.
Yeah. Honestly, like there was one comment on the TikTok saying, "Oh, you're right at the back," and I'm like, we had the best seats in the entire house in my eyes.
No
like we could see everything, and
there were big, nice, comfy chairs. You had squash.
Really
you had
comfy.
armrests with your cup holder.
Yeah.
Sofas behind us. You could sit on the sofa. Bar to stand at and watch if you wanted to. Off scale.
And obviously, bear in mind, it was a 5-game series. So at the start, we were like, come on, please let us have 5 games. Please let us have 5 games. And we got 5 games. So we were sat there for, 5 hours?
Yeah.
Pretty much, watching it. And obviously, it's like an incredible series as well. The opening ceremony, go watch the TikTok on our TikTok of the opening ceremony. That video's gone a little bit viral because it is stunning. And the sound quality, the production, the lights, the visual effects, the dancers was apt. Honestly, as Vedak said, it is something you'll never forget, and I don't think either of us will ever forget. Like particularly the opening ceremony was just incredible.
And I love the touch. Everyone in the bottom rafters, they all had these wristbands that lit up, and they were obviously coded. So whenever someone killed Baron or killed dragons, when they killed Baron, the whole room would light up purple on everyone's wristbands. When they killed the dragon, it was different colours depending on the dragon, fire, and so it was just. And that was such a nice touch, as well as just going off mental and beating with the music when the music was going and waving across the. It was good.
Yeah. Honestly, absolutely incredible day. But yeah, a couple of facts. So that was the biggest esports and most viewed esports event in the world ever, with nearly 7 million peak viewers.
Wild.
Yeah, I mean, there's big numbers, isn't it? And like, we were obviously I would guess maybe 20,000 people in the arena itself, something like that. Yeah, absolutely stunning. But Vedak, do you want to touch on Faker's income? So Faker is like the peak, the goat of the winner, which was obviously T1. But give us a quick rundown on his income.
So we were just looking up to see how much this boy makes. 28 years old, 5 world championships now on his belt. So it makes him the most successful esports player of all time. So he definitely deserves his GOAT title. But they were saying that his income is about $10 million a year, and his net worth is about 50 million, and he owns property in Seoul. He's got a tower called Faker Tower. That's just nuts, crazy.
$10 million a year. That is, because I think the winner got the winning team got 1 million, but obviously they're going to be sponsored by numerous sponsors as well, and and then endorsements as well, etc., etc. And also, I don't know what he does from an advertising point of view over in Seoul.
And I think he has his own Twitch channel as well.
Yeah. Because his Twitch is his gaming name is Hide on Bush. Which is a load of people follow because he's very, very good, and he had an incredible final as well. But
some of his plays, we were just, I mean, I just remember on 2 different occasions, he managed to instigate fights on like 3 or 4 health bars, thinking, God, and he's instigating a fight, and he's got out 1 health bar while the rest of the team demolishes, and then he's starting a fight again after his health has come a little bit back. He died once from an amazing ash arrow from elk.
Yes.
I don't know if he died more than 2 or 3 times for the whole.
There's one game we went like 0-4. I think that was the 3rd game. But yeah, I mean, he was very much. the amount of times we were saying, "How is he still alive? Like, how is he still alive?" But yeah, honestly, I know we've talked about the World's Finals for a good 10 minutes there, but genuinely one of the best things that I've ever done in my life, and I think Vedak will probably agree with me as well on that. But let's move it on
just quick,
to go on.
The audience that was there. Was it mainly a UK audience? Was it quite a global audience?
Oh, no,
global,
Have people all
global.
flown in from around the world?
Yeah.
I heard Italian, French, US, German, everyone. I mean, I saw a load of the signs there. People saying I've flown all the way from Italy to see Faker, etc. So yeah, very
people from Korea, people from China, people from Australia as well. So an Australian flag.
Yeah, so. But I was saying to Vedak when we were walking around, I feel like I'm I feel like I'm part of it, if that makes sense, because they were all gamers. Like you walk up to them and you can look at them and you're a gamer. You're literally it was. I felt very at home there, if that makes sense. But yeah, any questions from you, Basson, ever on it?
No, nothing further on for me to add, or any further questions. I don't think. No.
All right, no worries. All right, let's move it on to our favorite, one of our favorite topics on the podcast, the PS5 Pro, the new to be launched console. When is it? I can't remember off the top of my head. It's launching, and I want to say end of this month, isn't it? Something like that, off the top of my head. But yeah, the Pro. You look it up whilst I talk. But obviously, the PS5 Pro, a lot of people are going to want the disc drive because there's going to be a lot of gamers who've got the PS5 and the PS4 who have got physical media and they're going to want to play it. But apparently, there's been a lot of scalpers buying it for sort of £99. Buying as many as they can and then reselling them on the likes of eBay, Facebook Marketplace. But obviously, the retail price is £99, but there's examples out there at the moment where it's £400 for a disc drive, and you're like, that's half the price of the PS5 Pro console. So you add that onto the actual cost of the retail unit itself, you're looking at what, £1,200 nearly, £1,100, and you're like, who are these people who are buying it? Genuinely, absolutely. It doesn't surprise me that there's scalpers out there, but who's actually buying it at that price?
Well, so I've got a bit of additional news on that. So the actual console's out this Friday, the 7th. No, the 7th.
Oh, okay.
Thursday, on the 7th. And you talk about who's going to buy it. So they've said that they have got enhanced versions of some of existing games. So if you haven't got some of these titles, so Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be an enhanced edition for PS5 Pro. You've obviously got Dragon Age, the Veilguard, which is a fairly new game. It's enhanced for PS5 Pro. And the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is designed with the Pro in mind. And then they're also doing remastered versions of The Last of Us Parts 1 and 2. And I mean, there's a whole host of games, but it sounds like some of them will just be the standard, but some of them are remastered for the launch day.
I suppose they're trying to put an element of FOMO into it, aren't they, to get people to buy it? But in reality, they haven't got I don't think they've got a launch title specifically for it, have they? It's more of a you're getting better hardware under the hood, as it would be, and you're going to have a few remastered games. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be anything jaw-dropping or needle moving, is it?
No. So it comes with Astro's Playroom, which is a brand new game. But whether it's required that you need a PS5 Pro to play the game, it's sort of up.
Probably not.
But yeah, that's interesting. That will be interesting to see. Maybe next week or the week after, we'll have some numbers about how well it's done. And I'd be interested to see all of the reviews, because obviously all the reviews will start hitting today, tomorrow, and for the rest of the week, to see all the third-party reviews of, is it actually worth buying? Can you realistically see a difference?
Yeah, can you justify if you have to scalp one of the not scalp if you have to pay one of the scalper prices for the disk drive plus the retail price of the unit itself? Can you justify spending that amount of money and seeing a definitive increase over the normal PS5? I'm going to say no, and I'm going to say it's going to fall short of expectations on numbers. Mass Diablo 4, Elon Musk.
Yeah, it was just was on Twitter and forgive me, X, and there was an interview that he had with Joe Rogan, and they were just talking about gaming because I know that in the past on numerous occasions Elon's sort of been streaming himself or showing himself whilst he's playing games, and that game tends to be Diablo 4. He's declared that he's actually one of the top 20 Diablo players currently in the world. He said that there's only 2 Americans that are in the top 20, and he is one of them. So it's quite an achievement.
That's gonna have to put some serious hours into it. Like
It's-
he's running some of the biggest companies in the world, and he's in the top. He's in the one of top 2 people in the US. That's unreal.
Because I thought, this guy is a workaholic and he wouldn't have that kind of time to be able to dedicate to the game. But he's obviously maybe he's one of those people that doesn't sleep much. A bit like Barack Obama or Margaret Thatcher. I think they sleep, or she herself slept on. It was less than 6 hours. Was it something like 4 hours a night or something like that? I don't know, but I don't know how he managed it. But yeah, so top 20. But yeah. It's not a game myself. I haven't played that myself, and it was out last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's fairly recent. I mean, it's not a short game either. It's not something you can just do like speed run it as it would be. You're gonna have to spend a lot of hours on it, and where does he get the time? Like he's running Tesla, he's running the Boring Company, he's running the not Skynet. What's the broadband called? What's the broadband called that he does?
Starlink.
Starlink. He's running SpaceX, and he's running X. He's got 5 multi-billion-dollar companies, and he still finds time. And I mean, I don't know whether that's a testament to him. I think it probably is that he's running these multi-billion-dollar companies, and he's still managing to be in the top 20 of a game in the world. So he's finding time for it.
So he goes to bed at 3 a.m. in the morning, and he gets about 6 hours sleep a night. So he must be using. So that's how he must fit it in.
I mean, it's interesting. I think from his standpoint. So I went to X, Twitter, first started doing the live streaming, and he was the person live streaming on the platform, like his gaming footage. And it was really interesting. Obviously, he was playing Diablo, but it's like, I think he sees like playing the game as him actually still doing part of his job because he's streaming it as well.
Yeah. So essentially, he's trying to showcase X as a platform to stream on, isn't it? Because obviously, they're trying to, as a platform, X are trying to get more streamers, more content creators to it. And they're obviously paying out very well as well, which I've seen. So that kind of makes sense that he was doing that. But I mean, that's an incredible achievement. Top 20 in the world on Diablo 4. Moving on. AMD have announced the new Ryzen 7 9800X3D, the successor to my chip, actually, the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. Only $30 more than mine, so at $479. So not a huge increase in price, but from a where are we? From a cores thread, we've got same cores.
So Beef, can you take us through the specs? So
we've got 8 cores, 16 threads, which is the same as the 7800X3D. A bigger base frequency of 4.7 gigahertz over 4.2. Slightly bit more.
Massive for that base clock speed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not up to speed on base clock speed, so don't quote me on that one. But more cache. No, same cache actually, 104 meg, and same total TDP. I'm guessing that's total 120 watts.
Yeah, so that's basically the energy consumption of the CPU.
Yeah. So essentially, I mean in this article on PC Gaming, they're essentially saying that it's one of the big differentiators. It's completely unlocks the ability to essentially overclock it. So that's one of the biggest differences. But we'll have to wait and see from a gaming.
Have you got anything on the 3DV cache rather than just the standard L2?
Well, the L2 and it just says L2 and L3 combined is 104 meg on both.
Okay. So and when is that is might be a bit tempting as my big upgrade.
Well, I know who else needs an upgrade. I know who else needs. There's someone else on this podcast who needs an upgrade to their GPU, not GPU, CPU.
I mean, can you upgrade? I mean, you just have to start again because your Commodore 64 has just had it, hasn't it?
Well, I know the Amiga 500 Plus was running at 7 megahertz, I think. So I don't know what was the Commodore 64 running at. I'm not sure.
Oh.
But Massa never tries to essentially eke out, and understandably, and I do too, all the life out of the gaming rig that he has. But I mean, are we talking 10 years old now?
It must be. This is an i7-4770K.
I had that exact same CPU. I've upgraded since then, and I've upgraded to my current rig since then. So yeah, I had the 3770K, so one generation prior to yours, Max.
Yeah, the monitor's the oldest component. That's 16 and a half years. 16 and a half years old this month.
That's still a good 1080p monitor. It still does the job as a basic monitor.
But the graphics card is the GeForce GTX 1070 Ti.
That is. I mean, that's the thing. Like, so if I do upgrade, I will be able to sell off like the majority of my components for still like really good money. They still retain enough.
Where are we going to the Antiques Roadshow for my one? Yeah. Get a valuation.
Well, first of all, you need to open it up and then just hoover all the dust out of it. Because have you cleaned it in 10 years on the inside?
We did hoover it actually just before a Raw Link actually 3 years ago. Me and Vedak we had a go at hoovering it. So.
Oh dear. Well, there's an opportunity for you. You get the Ryzen 7 9800X3D with the NVIDIA 5090 when it launches in about 3 months' time, with 128 gigs of RAM, and we're laughing. With the that LG, is it the 8K screen? I think that they've produced. I don't know. You should get two of them. Definitely
55 inch. I think it was.
Yeah, get two of them. 110 inches. That's what you need. The 3-figure inches.
Then I can run GTA 6 in glorious 8K.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? So yeah, the new Ryzen 7 9800X3D has launched, $479. I'm guessing that's going to be about £399 roughly. It's probably a winner. I mean, the 7800X3D is an absolute game changer from a gaming performance perspective, so I'd imagine this one would probably be pretty decent as well. Vedak, Planet Coaster 2. Talk to us about it.
It's got its release day for the 6th of November, so that looks like it's going to be a great game. I probably won't get it straight away. I just got a thing come through.
Give us the general premise of it, because for those who don't know what it is.
So it's in the old days of not theme park, roller coaster tycoon. It was a bit more in depth, wasn't it? So you can design your own theme park pretty much from the rock that you choose to go in the flower bed and what flower goes here and what type of tile. It could go from the most in-depth game to to just popping down rides and seeing. But you can just. I've seen people make theme parks that are just unbelievable in Planet Coaster 1.
Because someone did use that, didn't they, to rebuild the whole of one of the theme parks in this country? Was it Alton Towers or was it?
Yeah, and you can definitely do replica?
Someone built Alton Towers. Is it like similar to someone like built Hogwarts in Minecraft? Like someone's built Alton Towers in Planet Coast. That's incredible.
I'm sure it was Alton. It was definitely a theme park, and I thought it was Alton Towers that they used. But yeah,
it's the same as what other people do on City Skylines too, and they go and try and replicate cities from around the world where they can do.
Yeah. And so that's releasing tomorrow, yes, Vedak?
It is indeed. Yeah, should be good. I think I would have got it, but I think I might be getting beta access to Dune Awakening.
No, Vedak, let's talk about what you're really going to be doing, which we talked about at the weekend. Vedak's come back to League of Legends, where we started. So Vedak introduced me to League of Legends in 2011. I think it was 2011, 2012.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. And then we started playing it, and I'm still playing it like 12, 13 years later. And Vedak, after watching the finals, he was like, we're on the train back. And it was like, yeah, I'm going to download it. So get it downloaded after we finish recording the podcast, and then we can have a couple of games, and then we get some ranked in, and then you can come up to my rank eventually, which is obviously nearly professional, just behind Faker.
It's not going to be Sins of a Solar Empire 2 then.
I think Saturday will be
we will be playing that. But the thing we all know with Sins of a Solar Empire 2, it's a 4-hour game, isn't it? Most of it. If us four play, 4 of us versus the AI, or 2-on-2, it's going to be a 2 to 4 hour game, isn't it? Whereas League of Legends, 45 minutes, no problem, ranked game, done. Easy. So get it downloaded, Vedak, straight after the podcast. But anyway, I interrupted you, Vedak. Dune Awakening. Was it you were getting beta access to it?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I filled in the form that you have to fill in your specifications as say that you're willing to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So I filled all that in. So I'm just waiting for the invite to come back for it to start. So hopefully,
nice. I have. I'm on that waiting list for Football Manager as well. Although I think are going to be some months before they send me beta access to that.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple of podcasts ago, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Devastate. Let's talk about the rumours of the Xbox handheld gaming device.
Yeah, so just a bit of background on it. So there's been a lot of rumours for the whole of this year about Xbox potentially doing some sort of handheld, and back earlier part of the year, I think it was in February, the Microsoft gaming CEO was there was tweets going around about wouldn't it be great to do Xbox release a handheld, and the Microsoft gaming CEO Phil Spencer was liking all of the tweets, obviously stoking the fire, but it's getting a lot of traction at the moment, and they have said that something will be showcased before the end of the year. Xbox has said this. Ooh. Now, that could be that they might be doing a new Xbox, but it feels quite early. It feels quite late to be doing it and launching them before Christmas. Like as with the PlayStation 5 Pro, you want them dropping in beginning of November, so you've got time to.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a new Xbox console. New Xbox console to me, it's 26, 27, something like that.
I mean, ultimately, they've just released the new upgraded Xboxes, Xbox Series X and S, discless as well. And if there's a really interesting video by Linus Tech Tips on does it really cost more to go all digital or not? And they do a complete comparison over historic prices of games, how many games on average most people buy for a console, the cost differences associated. So if you bought them from the online store, I bet you make the saving on having a disc, but then you can't resell it. They go through all of those metrics. It's really interesting to watch. I'll pop a link to it in the description, but a really good watch on that. And so they've released the new Xbox consoles without discs. But the interesting thing here is said that they think something might get rumoured for the Game Awards in December.
Yeah.
December this year, we have the Game Awards. So something feels like it could happen then, but it will probably be almost this is in
Teaser.
like a real early access coming out June, July, August next year. Like,
Yeah,
I think
it'll probably be for Christmas. It'll probably be Christmas. A fall release next year, won't it? So it'll be a September to November, probably a September October release time next year. If that's what's going to happen, that kind of feels like a right timeline. But like,
I mean,
when was the last Xbox or Microsoft handheld that
they never had one.
I don't think we've ever had one.
Never had one.
They had a
Sony had a place the PSP, and then did they rebrand that to something else?
They bought a second PSP.
Was it Vita?
Vita, yeah.
It was
sorry,
that's what it was. The second.
And now, obviously, we've got the Sony unit, which is effectively the tablet with the handheld on that streams from your PlayStation over the internet to it.
Yeah.
But yes, we've had various PlayStation ones. Never have we had an Xbox unit.
No.
However, I do think it's interesting because there is a massive rise in the handheld gaming market. And this has all come off the back of how well the Steam Deck has ultimately done.
And Switch.
And the Switch. But you've got a lot of these handheld PCs that have come out over the last... I think we spoke about the ROG unit a couple of weeks ago. And so... what's weird for me is that these units, which have Windows on them, almost why can't they take advantage of like a equivalent big picture mode for these handheld ones that you can play your Xbox Game Pass on them in a more thought through way? It's like, why do Xbox need to go into this market? Yeah. And I suppose the only thing that they think about is that these handheld PCs are majority for adults, young professionals, people on the go, something like that. I think a handheld Xbox would be the majority for a younger audience. But most Xbox gamers are older by cause. PlayStation is a younger audience generally. They have a much bigger market share. Xbox gamers are just slightly older. But I think it's really interesting if they do go down this route.
The problem is if they go for a younger audience and they trying to go into that handheld market, they're going to have to compete with Nintendo, who are the masters of a young audience.
Yeah, 100%. Because like you look at the games that are available for the Switch. Like my kids have got it, and I'm like, there's so few games that appeal to me as an adult gamer on there. I'm like, all right, I'll play Mario Kart. I'll play it with the kids, fine. But sitting there on the sofa, I'm just like going through the library of games available. And I'm like, there's nothing here where I go, I really want that. Whereas, like, imagine if you could play GTA 6 when it comes out on a handheld. I mean,
I do think that is something that where the PlayStation could be really interesting, because you'll be able to effectively, the game will run on the console and you'll have this handheld unit that you can effectively play anywhere.
But then if you're not in your home, you're going to be going over the internet, and then you get into the cloud gaming terms, and could be a bit iffy.
Yeah, but I think there's going to be an issue. Like, these handheld PCs will not be able to play GTA 6. No. Zero chance. Absolutely.
Yeah, especially because it's on UE5, isn't it? So, I mean, you'd have to have an unbelievably spec'd handheld device, which will be an extortionate amount of money.
But they don't have the chips to do it. So they're using the latest Ryzen 7952Us, which are the mobile chips with the built-in 3D cache. And they're good for what they need to do on effectively you run it at 720p, 30 frames a second. They're good enough to play these games, but
you can get laptop GPUs that all the way up.
A handheld console's this big. You're not going to get a laptop is that wide in terms of you can't.
Yeah, but the GPU inside it isn't.
What's the power of the Steam system anyway? I mean that. But for me, it would be more to do with the way the game is controlled. Because if I wanted to play things like first-person shooters, that sort of thing, I think I'd find it quite difficult using the Something
Well,
like
no, I
Steam.
don't know. It'd be similar to like when I played Halo on the Xbox controller.
Yeah, I
Like,
suppose for me, but I'm thinking if on a PC though, I'd be against people which have a mouse and a keyboard. Would I be able to compete if I was playing a first person? I'm not sure
I
I'd be able
mean,
to compete with them.
if you're a good enough gamer like myself, you can.
Oh.
But you're obviously you're not quite there yet, Massinever. And Vedic, I mean, you've got a long way to go. I mean, you're just so old. Just so. I mean, when you get to my level of gaming prowess,
It doesn't matter what the peripherals are.
Yeah,
You know, you could still, even if it was a Microsoft
VR,
force feedback joystick, yeah, you'd
yeah,
still,
100%, 100%.
or a steering wheel, yeah.
I was at the in-laws at the weekend, and they got the Master System out, Sega Master System 2, and I was like, just completed all the games. So I was just showing all the nephews and stuff, and they were like, "Wow, you're such a good gamer." And I'm like,
Oh my god, feed that big head.
my head's not big; it's just full of knowledge.
Full of bloody useless knowledge.
It's not even that, mate.
Oh dear. But I mean, let's presume that it's not going to be able to run GTA 6. Let's make that presumption. Or it's going to be a very dumbed down version with really poor graphics, which won't be a great experience. But it will run most other games fine. What sort of price point are you going to be looking at? 400?
Yeah, it's a minimum, absolute minimum 400.
But a brand new Xbox is about the same price.
Yeah, but you look at you're going into category of handheld now, so you've got to look at the Steam Deck as the comparison. What's the Steam Deck? 3?
So you've got 3 versions of Steam Deck.
Yeah, what's the cheapest?
Cheapest one is 349,
So it's,
which is the 256 gig LCD model, and then you've got 479 and 569.
What's the
the
price?
569 is the OLED, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's the 1 terabyte OLED. I mean, they do look good.
I mean, that's a lot of money to do handheld gaming, isn't it?
But
That's a lot of money.
but for people who commute,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're a commuter and you're a gamer,
yeah,
I mean, all day.
yeah, unless you're using it on the
Yeah,
go.
but you'd miss your stop every time, wouldn't you? Really? I mean, I'd end up in Aberdeen.
Well, I mean, if you're a good enough gamer, Scott, you complete the game before you get to your stop, like me. So don't worry, you'll get there one day. But no, I think 400 quid. It's got to be somewhere around that ballpark, isn't it? But I mean, that would definitely appeal to me. Whether I want it, whether I need it, is a different kettle of fish altogether.
I mean, it'd be so cool. Like if you're on a flight,
Yeah,
and you could just fire that up and game on that for a whole flight. That would just be.
Yeah, I'm on like a 7-hour flight in a few weeks, and I'm like, I need to figure out what am I going to take with me to.
You can get Civ for it.
There's no scenario I'm ever playing Civ.
We could arrange that, couldn't we? So we can have a Civ game whilst he's on the flight. Yeah.
Yeah, you might be able to complete it eventually.
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody's completed a game of Civ. It's never been completed by anybody. It's a game which hasn't been completed because it's just so long.
Well, 7 hours is enough time to play a game of Sins, though.
Yes, we could play Sins for 7 hours, just about, depending on how many players. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps all the topics. Has anyone got anything else that they want to chime in with?
One thing, actually, just coming back to League of Legends, though.
Are you getting involved?
Did either of you see anybody play either Victor or Zillion, my 2 favourite characters, because they were the only 2 characters I could play as?
Very off meta. Very off meta. Because basically the pros play on what is the meta at that point. So what are the best champions to play based on the current patch. And Zillion, I haven't seen Zillion in quite a few years. And Victor, even longer than that. Zillion played probably 3 to 5 years ago, I would think. I saw Bjergsen play it quite a lot as TSM for TSM mid, but yeah, Victor, no. But Mass, you can get your League of Legends re-downloaded, and then we can have a game with Vedak, and then we'll get Rage involved as well. We've got a 4-player team.
Well, we know that my PC will handle it, so
yes, absolutely, because it's built for a 2009 game, so you should just about be able to manage League of Legends at a full 1080p as well. Right, on that wonderful note, we will leave it there. Thank you all for watching. If you've got any comments about what you want to see or what you have seen, please do drop them in the comment section below. We would love it if you could drop a like and subscribe as well, whatever platform you are listening or watching on. As always, appreciated. Devastate, anything else from you?
No, thank you very much for joining us all. Hopefully you all have a wonderful week, and we'll be back again next week with some more gaming news and maybe a bit more of a deep dive into something. We haven't done a deep dive for a while, have we? So, yeah,
I like the idea of
something
that.
on that.
Cool. Well, thank you guys. I have been Beef the Legend.
My name's been Devastate.
And I'm Vedak.
And I've been Mass and Ivry, Tofu.
That's your
Thanks,
peeps.
guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.